Hi, everyone, and welcome to Faith Over Fear. Today, I have a special guest and friend of mine, and she's going to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany. Nice to meet you guys.
Tiffany is a realtor in Houston, and she's also a small business owner like me, and we love supporting each other. So, she is owner of Mela Swimwear. So, tell me a little bit about what got you on that journey. I want to touch the Mela Swimwear because I'm so excited. I love seeing women in business, and I love to see us excel and move forward. What kind of drove you to get into Mela Swimwear?
So I've always had a passion for swimwear. It's something that my sister and I, since we were very young, especially being Colombian, I'm Colombian, so
I love that.
we just have always had this like passion for swimwear, and every single time we would post some stuff that we would get from Colombia, they would be like, people would ask me where's it from, like I want it, and so that kind of inspired us to be like, hey, I think that we have like something here.
Correct.
People kept asking us, and so we're like, why don't we try, doing our own line and seeing how that goes. So it's something that we've been working on for, quite a few years before we actually launched. So we launched in 2020, which was like a pandemic little baby.
I love it.
Yes, so it was in September 2020. So we're actually about to be 3 years at the end of this month. So it's been a crazy journey, but obviously when we first started, we were very like, oh, I don't know.
How do you do it?
How do we even like get like, there's so many different things that you start thinking about, like how do we get a manufacturer, like where do we even get this done, or how are we gonna market this? Is this gonna be something that can, like, be, I guess, like successful in the long run? So it was something that we both had to learn. My sister and I had to like manage that. So I will say we're both very involved in the process, which is great. And, some people are like, oh, don't do business with family. But to be honest, I could not have asked for like a better business partner than my sister.
I do not. I mean, I have my sister with me
I'm
too,
like,
so I'm like, I don't trust anyone. I'm not
Literally.
organized. She is. So
Yeah.
she's like the yin to my yang, and I'm like, I couldn't either.
No, I
So
couldn't.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that we're having like family influence. And I love that you decided to jump into e-commerce in the middle of COVID.
Yes. And which is crazy because everyone
But
was
brilliant.
at the same time, we had planned on launching this, before COVID. So,
Right.
Even before COVID was even a thing, we were already like in the works of everything. And we had been sampling fabrics for like years.
How was that journey sampling fabrics? I've never done e-commerce, so I'm kind of curious. And it's intriguing because I know you can inspire a lot of young women that do want to get into e-commerce, or even men that want to get into e-commerce and don't know. So how was that sampling? What do you mean sampling?
So I guess like to get started, we first tried out in different areas where we wanted to get manufactured and so we would try different fabrics from that they would send us, and then we had certain designs that we wanted, so we would send them over like a sketch of what we like and what we wanted specifically. So it's not like we're like buying wholesale and just like selling it. We're designing each style. So I think sometimes people get that very confused.
That's what I wanted to emphasize. Yes. So you're actually designing from beginning to end. It's your sketches.
Yes, like whether it can be like a simple triangle top. Well, there's not much you can do so much to a triangle top, but at the end of the day, I'm not buying it from a different brand, like a wholesaler, to like then me sell it and put my like label on it.
Correct. Which is what most people do. So this
Correct.
Is original content.
Yes, and so then when people are like, well, they start trying to buy from those like fast fashion brands that
Correct.
sell so much, like for so much cheaper. It's hard for me sometimes to explain that because I'm like, we're doing everything from the start to finish. Like we know
you're a Rolex.
Yes, I'm like exactly.
You're a Rolex.
Thank you.
No. Like Shakira said.
It takes a little bit more time. So obviously, whenever we do the fabrics, we really want to make sure they're like good quality and how much nylon is in them and like stretch and everything, and if it's gonna like
mold your body, because a lot of women do want it to hold yourself together.
Yes.
Like I don't need just una telita or a piece of fabric just covering.
Correct. And then there's just so many different styles that come to it too. So we kind of vary throughout, and so that process was in the beginning hard because we weren't sure, like we don't like this fabric, or we don't like how they're doing it, so we would switch a lot in the beginning. And then when we finally decided, hey, this is going to be the manufacturer company that we're gonna use, and then we decided to like let's give it a try. And so we launched in September 2020, and I thought we were like, oh, it's the middle of COVID, but I feel like it really did help us because in that year there were so many people supporting like online businesses.
Yes,
Because
I
everyone had,
remember.
no one wanted to no longer go to malls. It was closed for so long.
Correct.
And then
It was the launch of like
Yes.
this whole tech e-commerce.
Yes.
And I think it also propelled a lot of business owners to like dive into, because it was like do or die. Like, what if your job got taken away at the end of the day? And so it was like we were in survival mode of like, how can I, one, be creative and consume my time now that we were at home, and also make it to where it's a business that's lucrative, that's gonna help. And I love that you launched swimwear because it goes with your personality so much, because we love the beach. If y'all don't know,
Love
this
it.
girl travels.
You can find me somewhere, and the first place you're gonna find me is on a beach.
On the beach?
On the beach.
Not in the cold, okay? We like the beach.
Absolutely.
Like, I've had people tell me, do you want a vacation in the snow? I'm like, you know what? Like, take me somewhere tropical.
Yeah. No, and it's crazy because even when I have vacation in the snow, I still bring my swimwear because I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be the jacuzzi or something because this is my vibe. So
Mela
We're gonna-
Swimwear can be used anywhere.
okay, we're versatile. Okay, thank you.
You're in Aspen, call us.
We like it. We like it.
We like it.
So
So, how did you get the name Mela?
So Mela came from, my sister's name is Pamela, and my brother, since we were very young, I guess he couldn't really pronounce how to say Pamela,
Yeah.
so he would be like Mela.
I
And
can't
so
even
then
know.
for a long time, she was like, oh, I really like this name, Mela, and I was like, okay, and it's something that my sister and we both wanted, and so when she was like, okay, I think we should launch it, and I think let's try to spell it out and like see it in the font that we would want and everything. And so when we did it, we were like, I think this goes like Mela Swim. It's like more connected. Obviously, like it doesn't have so much connection to me
Correct.
personally, but it's also like my sister's thing. And so, I love the name, and it's.
I loved it.
And
I
I
was
think
like,
it-
it's
and
so
it's like-
Latina.
It is. It's like Mela Swim, Mela. You can say it like both. It's not hard to like
I think the men will want to hear it one more time. Mela.
Mela.
That Colombian accent is everything. We're gonna have to say something in Spanish.
Okay. We'll sneak it in there.
We'll sneak in some Spanish for our Spanish viewers. But I love that you had that energy, that creative energy. And a lot of things that I think that's wrong with people is that they'll have these ideas, but they don't know how to like make them happen. And you went out and said, no, I'm gonna make it happen. And you went out and how was it like creating the logo with your sister? And what was one of the hardest things, I think, as a business owner starting during that period, do you think was one of the hardest things for you?
Okay, so I think obviously like the logo part, with the name, we kind of, played around with a little bit on how exactly we want it to look. But it was the logo part didn't really take long for us, to be honest.
Okay.
That was something that we already had in our minds and everything. And we were like, okay, this is exactly like how we want it to look and what we'd want. But I think one of the biggest challenges personally was like when we started was during like this, like, I guess not reaching out to different ways to market, I think I would say.
Okay.
So yes, you can do social media. Yes, we reach out to influencers and do that way, do it in that way as well. But it's not as easy as you think, and so it was like we got a lot of support in our immediate community and our friends and family, and they were really supportive, and everyone was like ordering. But it's like we didn't want it just to be our circle. We wanted obviously to reach other people. So we're like, how do we do that? So it was more of like a navigation part, and to be fair, everyone's still learning. Like
I think we all are with marketing. Like,
so everything changes so much every day. So like there's a new way to market now. There's a new application. There's a new website. There's so many different like things now that I feel like is helpful. And in the beginning,
it can be overwhelming too.
We didn't even know
because
where to
I
start.
didn't even know. Like I know we have Instagram, we have Facebook. Then TikTok came around COVID, and everyone started using TikTok. And now it's podcasts and interviews and it's always a moving component. So it's hard as a business owner. Like, how do we keep up with that? How do and finding the algorithms, because some posts I'm like, wow, how did you go viral? And then on the ones I work hard, I'm like, bro, like, why not? I worked so hard on this one, and it gets the less views. So it's like, I think it's hard finding that algorithm. I don't think anyone's got it down to like a T.
Yes. And I feel like sometimes, obviously, in that process, you don't become discouraged, but sometimes you can, in the sense of you're like, oh, I don't know, like, why isn't this being like a hit when you thought it would be and you're marketing it this way? And then something that you're not trying, like you said, it just like it hits and then you're like, oh wow, that video got, 1 million views, and you're like, how, why, like what, so it's like you're always trying to keep up. So I feel like that was kind of the harder in the beginning parts. We were trying to navigate all that marketing. But
I love her TikToks. Like,
but
you are so creative with these TikToks. I will be scrolling and I see you and I'm like, that's my girl. And I love them because it's always on the viral ones too that I've been seeing. And you pop on, like, you're creative with it,
You can't even take your time anymore. It's like if you see something, or like if there's some sort of like trending sound or anything, you're like, okay, so now or never, because it's like your thing, whatever you're promoting or marketing, like it could reach a lot of more people if you use this. So I mean, yeah.
Have you ever paid for ads? Because I started recently paying for some ads to see how that algorithm works and see how I can reach different people. Have you ever done that yet?
I have.
Okay.
Yes. So when it comes to Instagram? Yes. So Instagram, Facebook, we have.
I just started, and it's a little difficult because it's like, I think, like, I don't know how to set the diameters correctly, I think.
Yeah. So I feel like sometimes it depends on the business. Ours is, women, focused.
Correct.
Because that's what we sell right now. We don't currently sell any, like, men's swimwear. Correct. So it's kind of hard for us to, like, be super open with everything. Correct. But we try to be a little bit more specific. We have paid for ads. We have seen, obviously, like, a good, like, there is some ROI into it. Yeah. But, maybe I haven't done correctly. I mean, people really have put in a lot of money into, like, doing ads. And some people say it really works. I haven't personally, like, done that much.
Me either. I'm just dabbling.
Yes. So I feel like I've dabbled a little bit here and there. But we're really wanting to, like, focus on TikTok Shop. Yeah. So that's something that just launched in the U.S.
I know. I was seeing that. Yes. I just ordered the snail cream. Like,
no, it's amazing.
It was like, I put it on my face and it's been glowing, y'all.
I mean, girl, you're always
I'm going to start selling it. I'm going to create a little Amazon TikTok. You heard, Luis? We need to create a Amazon TikTok.
Yeah. So, I mean, now with that, I feel like there's so many, little different things you can do. And you can also, like, sponsor those posts, like, with TikTok Shop. And that boosts a lot. And I feel like, we're going to see a lot of more different
I think you're going to see a lot of more traction with the TikTok Shop because they pop out of nowhere. And then I'm so tempted to buy them all.
And it's so easy. And the crazy part is if you're new to TikTok Shop. So this is like a good thing. A lot of people don't know this. But TikTok gives you a coupon for the whatever business that you're wanting to shop on. So for us, if you're new on TikTok and you decide to shop with us online, you get like 40% off, and it doesn't take it from our end. It's TikTok getting that taken from like their end.
Aww,
so it really doesn't
support.
Yeah, because they're wanting to support small businesses, and they really want people to start using that platform, which is amazing. So I mean, we obviously ours is through Shopify, and we have our site, and and you can buy through Instagram, but TikTok Shop is like gonna change the game.
I just ordered my first thing from TikTok Shop. Yeah. So the second I get it, I'll let you know how quick they are. And if they're following Amazon, Jeff Bezos, like, footsteps, I'm a little scared because they might low-key take over if they get good at shipping.
I mean,
I might be more in TikTok Shop than Amazon.
It's crazy. And obviously you see people, like, personally doing video and, like, showing us. You're like, oh, okay, you're not just
more
pictures.
Leaning towards,
you're like,
it's not an actress getting paid to do it. It's actual people creating. And I like that it helps to, like, I don't know who's on the other end. Like, they could be a small business owner, too, that needs, that has a family they're supporting. Or, I've seen a lot of people go viral, too, with, like, their lip glosses, young girls.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen young women, like, just get so viral off of TikTok. And they're, like, 13-year-olds and 15-year-olds. And it's like, wow, like, you're that young already thinking with like, that energy of millionaire mindset. And the kids now are so advanced, like, my son is playing games, and sometimes I'm like, how do you even know how to... Like, he was in the computer the other day just scrolling through... I left Heart open, and he was just scrolling through there. And I was just like, okay. Like, all right. Yeah, you've seen this enough to now where you're comfortable, And it just surprises me because these are the type of role models, like, people like you that I want our kids to look at and say, hey, I could have an e-commerce. I could be in real estate. I could be something out of what's being glorified. And I like that you also, I know we talked about it a little. You are church-driven and faith-driven, as am I. And you did just recently started going Hope City, or you've been going?
So I lived in LA for a while. Okay. So when I moved back to Houston.
Oh my God, you lived in LA?
Yes.
Oh my God. No. Wait, hold on. Let's talk about LA.
Oh God!
Because I've never been to LA.
Okay, well, yeah, it's a fun city.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. I went to school out there, so I was out there for 7 years, and I moved. I know. So I moved back right before we launched Mela Swim. I moved back to Houston, so it was in 2020, like pandemic, kind of like 2021.
Yeah.
Is when I officially moved back, and so I went to a church out there for a long time called Oasis. So if you're ever in LA, it's an amazing church. And I feel like that's always like my faith has been very important to me. Even being here, like I grew up here in Houston, but I was going to church like every Sunday with my family. It was something that it was like very instilled in our community since a very at a very young age. And so when I came back here, I was like, oh, I want to check out another church. And so my friends were like, oh, let's try Hope City. So I've been going there, and I like it. Yeah, I like it. I've been going for like a while now. Yeah. And I mean, I like it a lot, so I'm happy.
It hit me because that's where I baptized my kids in 2019.
Oh, wow.
Right before COVID hit. And it's kind of, like, I don't believe in coincidence. I just like how everything circles in the universe back. And it's, like, beautiful messages like that. Like, girls can go to church. We can be faith-driven. We can show some lost women and lost souls that there's a purpose. There's something outside of material. And I think that's what I really want to emphasize big on. And that's why I love having women here that support that drive, because I have a daughter, and it's like, I want her to be able to say, Mom, I saw your podcast. I want to be like that girl on your podcast. I want to be like someone, like I want them to admire more than what they see on social media, and make a difference. And I see you doing that too. And you have your sister you're doing it with. You have your family supporting you, behind you. And I think people need to see that when you have that faith, you can put it over fear and say, I'm going to be a business owner.
Correct.
And I'm pretty sure, like, it's not easy. There's been a lot of obstacles and a lot of things you've had to overcome to get there,
100%.
Like, and it's just showing each other, like, hey, we can support each other. Like, we're in the same industry. We're supporting each other always. She's in real estate as well. So I know you did the Mela Swimwear. How did you get about getting into real estate, and how did that journey come about? What kind of influenced you? I always like asking people, like, what influenced you to get into real estate?
So when I got here, and I was like, okay, so what should I do? I wanted to change. So being in LA, I was doing something completely different. And so I was like, I've been wanting change. I came to Houston, and then I was like, all my friends have been in the real estate industry for years. Even in Los Angeles, everyone was like, you need to do real estate. You'd be really good. You're a very sociable person. Like, I'm always that, extrovert in a room. I'm always going to be like, oh, I'll make friends with you. I'll make friends with you. Like, I'm not shy, and I'm okay with that. So
you never know who you're in the room with either.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I've always been big on, like, networking and meeting a lot of people. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to come here and get my license. So I had a couple friends here that were like, hey, we're starting to, like, get into like building, and I feel like you'd be really good. Maybe you should get your license, and seeing how we can, like, collab together and it worked for both of us. So I said, okay, I think I should do that. So I looked on how to get my license. I hadn't even really looked into it. And so I saw it. I, like, signed up immediately, and I was like, I think I should, if I want to do this, I want to do this like quick. I wanted to, like, if this is not for me, then I kind of want to know and just, like,
end it right there. End it. Because you don't want to be, like, 3 or 4 years doing something you don't like.
Yes. Correct. So then I was like, you know what? I want to try it, like, pretty quick. So I got my license probably with the whole process is probably like a month and a half.
Okay.
Which people take, like, sometimes, like, 6 months to get their license. Like, just with the courses and everything, I was like, let's knock it out. Yeah. So
did you do the online ones or in class?
I did both. So it was, like, online and in person. Yeah. Just so it could be quicker. Because there was, like, not all of them online. Correct. I would have to wait a little longer.
Yeah, you have to wait for them.
Yes, or, like, in person, too, they didn't have... So, it was easier for me to do both. Like, I guess hybrid.
Hibernate, yeah.
So, I did that, and then I got into real estate, and I joined a brokerage, obviously, and, they did great training for me, and I loved it, and I've grown, and obviously I've met so many of my friends and, like, networked with so many amazing people here, and because I already had kind of, like, a background of familiar, people in the industry already, they kind of help guide me, So
That's good.
So they
you
were
had kind of like mentors.
Yes, I had mentors like throughout a little bit saying like, hey, I feel like if this is the route you're wanting, maybe go through new construction, maybe do like focus on this way.
Because there's so many things.
Yes.
I think that's what people. It's like real estate's so versatile. You have investing, you have listing, you have buyer's agent, you have so many new construction, build outs, commercial, so many sectors that it's like if you focus on one and really specialize. And then, one at a time, I think it will be very lucrative, and it's hard to find that one. How did you find your brokerage? I like asking that too because it's like, how do you know where's home?
That's honestly a really good question.
And I have a lot of realtors ask me because I get a lot of news too.
No, and to be fair, it took me a lot of like trial and error to really find the one that I like. So the current brokers that I'm at, I mean, I love them. They've been great to me, and I've seen the success that I've had recently because of my brokerage. I feel like they've provided me like so many different opportunities and like tools and like trainings and just like things that I wasn't getting before. So I feel like I kept, hopping from one place to another to try to find that.
Find home.
And I wasn't getting it. And so one of my friends, Kim, which she's also in real estate.
I know. I
met her.
I'm marketing event.
Yeah. So we were in a previous brokerage together, and we both left. And so she had left first, and she was like, hey, this is a smaller brokerage, and I feel like you'd really fit in well with everyone. I said, okay. So I gave them a try, and then I've loved them since. So I've been with them.
I love that because sometimes people want to go like super big, and I think where you need to go is like to a small local brokerage, someone that's going to be able to pour that love, that one-on-one with you, and mold you, because it is accountability. Like you are your own boss in real estate. Correct. You don't have anyone to say, hey, get up, it's time. It's you either get up and do it or you don't. You're not going to get paid.
Correct.
Because it's commission based,
Yes. And then I think like people sometimes like feel, if you have to be good at time management.
Yes,
I think that's a big one. And in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I'm good at time management." No, I was not until like now. I'm getting better because I started realizing I was like, "Oh no, I need to do this." Like, if not,
and I need to like
my day goes by like this, and I haven't even done anything. So I'm like, "Oh no, this isn't good."
And if you mix social media in there,
and then exactly, and with social media, doing content for it, like that takes time. And then
I think people don't understand. You have to have like a day full just committed to content, right, Lise? Like it's serious because if you don't do that, then you'll get left out of the loop and you won't have material to post, and people want to see stuff out of the ordinary. And I always like to see the new videos realtors are coming up with. It's always intriguing to see. And I know there's been trendsetters that have set those trends, that have done that, and I do want to acknowledge those that have stepped out of the loop, because it's hard to go out and do all these videos. Like people think it's easy to stand in front of a camera and talk. It's very hard and nerve-wracking. It's hard. Mom, come pick me up. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the corniness. But I love that you stepped outside the box and you really took real estate on. So how long have you been a realtor now?
So I've been a realtor a little over 2 years.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
So it's not, I haven't been in too long, but it's been like
your season.
Yeah, like it's like a little
song.
And then the first year you're very like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? You're comfortable.
Shock.
Now you understand. Now things are flowing. The referrals are coming in. You're starting to like see movement.
See the flourishing.
The first year, I will say for like all the new realtors, like you got to push through because that first year is like hard. Sometimes it can be easy for some people if you're lucky, but it is not like that for everyone. And so the first year you really have to grind. You got to do a lot of networking, a lot of different things, open houses. I mean, you name it. I was consistently doing content on social media. Like that's how I even got a following on social media.
That's what I wanted to tell you because you have a good following and you've poured into your social media, and I love to see that because people don't understand how hard that is.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy coming up with the ideas, the videos, and then doing them.
Correct. And obviously you get lucky sometimes if one hits viral or it goes, you get a lot of views, then all of a sudden it kind of pours in amount of followers. But it's always been in the beginning, anytime I started posting real estate, like that's what intrigued people. People were like, oh, I want to see more of that. That's what I want to see. So then I was like, okay, well, if that's what people want to see, I'm going to focus on that. So I started just like really like keying in on, real estate content in the beginning. And that's kind of like, I've gotten a lot of my deals and like leads through social media. Like I do close through because of an Instagram post.
Same.
People think that I just post these houses for fun all the time. It's like, no, I'm actually hopeful.
I'm actually hopeful a client will DM and be like, that one's for me. Let me buy. Or Drake would be like, let me be your realtor.
You know?
He announced yesterday.
I know. He announced it. He's moving to Houston. Everyone needs to move to Houston then, okay?
Do you know how hot our market's going to get right now? Like, the money that's about to... Because when the Kardashians or them posted, they were in Idaho or wherever they were at, Wisconsin. I don't know. Some state out there.
Probably.
Some state in the boonies. They were like, their market in real estate went drastic. So I can only imagine what Drake is doing for the economy here and everything that's coming here. Like, it's already going to set us on the map, I think, a little bit more. So
yeah, and honestly, like, Houston's already on the map. Like, we're such a big city, and there's been so many new developments that, like, even just happened the past 2 years here. It's ridiculous. Crazy. You blink, and you're like, oh, my God, this is a whole new area.
And they finished 290.
I know, which is girl, they've been finished that.
Yeah, but I just want to let them know it's done. And we have the biggest freeway, I-10.
I didn't know that it was the biggest one.
Yeah, it has, like, 10 rows. It's the biggest in the whole U.S. Shout out to Katie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't know either. Well, I saw it on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok.
See, we're always learning on TikTok.
I swear, I think I TikTok more than I Google now.
You know, anytime I want to go anywhere or travel, the first thing I do is, like, look on TikTok and see, okay, what is the vibe, though? I need to see videos. I don't really trust the pictures anymore.
Oh,
like, those pictures can be a little deceiving.
Tulum. Deceiving.
Yes. Oh.
Sorry, it's like a hit or a miss. You're either gonna get seaweed or you're not.
Yeah, things can be like a little deceiving. So TikTok people are like more realistic, and they're, you know, I feel like it's more carefree. It's more like authentic.
Have you ever done a solo trip?
I have not.
Oh my God, I recommend everyone to do a solo trip.
Yeah, I'm assuming
I did my first one this year, and I know you love traveling, so that's why I mentioned it. And it was so therapeutic. I did like a whole just spiritual retreat by myself. I went to Tulum, and I did like Reiki, and I did like, I read my books, I wrote my poems, I was out in the moon, like the whole spiel, and I came back so refreshed to like such beautiful energy. I was like, oh. So I recommend any woman. I do think it's like somewhere you find yourself like. Mm-hmm. But I went to a place where obviously I knew a little. I had gone before. It was like my 4th or 5th time there, and so I just think it's nice like to realize like you are that powerful, you know. So,
and plus, when you like, you sometimes need that extra little energy, like
Houston so that you can be very draining. So.
Anywhere, if you're staying in a certain place, but I mean, yes, definitely Houston. But if you stay anywhere in one spot for that long, then you just like feel like you start losing a little bit of that momentum, that energy that you like were carrying before. So it's good to like step back, refresh. That's why I always say I love to travel. I was just
she travels every month. I kid you not.
You know, back up for a second, and I'm like, all right, I'm back now. I can kill these deals.
Which one has been your favorite?
Ooh, I think I would probably say Spain. I think that Spain is like the most beautiful country. There's so many amazing cities within Spain. Like, I did a trip last year this time, and it was like by far, I think, just the most like the vibe, the lifestyle. Yeah. I could see myself there almost.
Oh my!
And I was like, oh my! If I probably would move anywhere, I would probably say Spain. I feel like this food was phenomenal. The like, you know, you're eating outside like with everyone and with your friends and family, like till late. I like I like to eat late. No, like here people are like having dinner at 6. I'm like 6. That's like our Latin culture. Like we're barely finishing lunch at like 4. I don't know. I'm not hungry. You know,
I'm not hungry till 10 at night.
And so over there, it's like everything's open so late, and it's very, you know, just relaxing. You're not like
rushed.
Here it's like come on, hurry, like work. That's like all you can really focus on. Over there, like that wasn't the case. It was the lifestyle I loved, and
I think they what is it? They work to live, not live to work. That's one of the quotes say. Because I went to Portugal and it's close by Spain.
Oh, yes. I wanted to go there.
Oh, my God. I went to Lisbon. I think I said it right. Lisbon. And it was like the architect and just, I would see people sit for lunch and they were out there 3 hours. I'm like, are they going back to work? But it's normal there. And
on Sundays, like, nothing's open.
Nothing.
I'm like, I love that.
They're all with their family. Nothing was open.
Like, if you want to go to the mall, there's no stores that are open.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
And it's like family time. Like
spend it. You cannot be in the mall for one day, I promise.
You will be fine. Okay. I think we should adopt that culture over here. But I'm into traveling. I love that you travel and everything that you do. I think I want to wrap this up with a little quote that I like. I like to ask all my followers and all my fans, like, what is a quote, and my supporters that come in here, what's a quote that stuck with you that has helped you become successful?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I know, right?
Wait, I actually actually have a few.
Yes. Okay. So.
Okay, I have a few, but I feel like this is one that I always read. I always say, if it makes you happy, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else.
That's so powerful.
So I feel like that one has like been something that I always keep in mind, and just anything, I'm always like, if it makes sense to myself. Sometimes people are like, that you're crazy, you can't do both, you can't do this. It's like, if it makes me happy and it makes sense to me, then go for it. That's like my biggest thing for everyone. If you feel like you can do it, like, just try it. Why not? Like, so many.
What are you gonna lose?
Yes, there's so many like things you can find out during the process of not only on yourself, but just like in general, that you should give it a shot.
I love that. Oh my! If it makes you happy, you don't do it.
Yeah, there you go. Does that make sense to anyone else?
What's a good quote, or what's something advice you would give your younger self?
Oh, I would probably say, don't take life too seriously.
Oh, I like that.
Like, enjoy it. Enjoy it, because things can go by so quick and things can change in a blink of an eye. So when you're young, like, enjoy that. Like, take those moments. Like, hang out with your friends. Be present. Like, it's like phones, as much as we love them.
I know they've taken over.
They take over. And so,
like I'm addicted.
Please be present when you're with your family, because, like, you never know.
You never know.
And so you don't want to miss those memories and look back and be like, oh, I wasn't present. And like,
you have the videos, but you weren't present.
Yes, take a step back and be like, okay, yes, like, this is what I want to do, So.
I love that. This is a reminder. I love that, to be present, to enjoy people. Let's get off our phones. In a world where we're run by social media, I think we've all forgotten, like, I'm addicted to this. And I'm going to be the first one to admit I have a phone addiction. I have an Instagram addiction.
I understand.
Actually TikTok. I'm more on TikTok than Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I feel like I've kind of, probably have shifted towards more TikTok as well.
Yeah.
But I see myself scrolling. I'm really trying to not scroll
Me
in the
too,
morning.
like,
I'm literally like, I am hitting that alarm snooze button, and then I'm like, I do not want to get on my phone.
That's the first thing I do. Why? That's such a trauma. Like, I wake my eyes up, and then just check my Instagram.
I'm like, why am I doing that? And I'm just like checking email. I'm like, no. I need to process everything first. Like, why am I doing that? So I'm trying to like steer away from this phone and so early. It's
difficult for us, but we're gonna try.
We're gonna try. So.
Thank you guys. Okay, and Tiffany, where can they find you on Instagram?
On Instagram, it's gonna be at Tiffany M Delgado.
Thank you guys, and TikTok, because now we're TikTok.
Hey, now we're TikTok.
For Mela Swim,
okay, so Mela Swim for Instagram is gonna be at Mela_swim, and then TikTok it's gonna be Tiffany Delgado 5.
Thank you guys, and remember, as always, faith over fear.
Yes. Bye.